all set up in here into my grill just to kind of keep it safe. You don't really need a charcoal grill. You could just actually have the chimney going and just have it in a safe spot. So I'm going to do this. It's going to be pretty hot. What you want to get your fancy wok nice and hot. That's how you get these things done real quick. I've had this wok for about, oh gosh, it's been at least about 15 years, I want to say. It's good, trusty wok. I treat it just like a cast iron pan. This is the type you want to get. You don't want to get one of those non-stick pans because they don't have any flavor. So this one builds up flavor over time. So that's what we're going to use. I'm just going to throw that on there, get it nice and hot. And we're going to add in just a little bit of olive oil. And I'm just going to do that just to kind of coat my pan. I got probably about a little, but maybe a little less than a tablespoon in there. I'm going to throw some shrimp in there. First, I want to make sure my oil is kind of all slathered around in there. So I'm going to cook these shrimp just a little bit. All right, you can hear it kind of getting nice and hot in there. So we're going to make sure that we just kind of keep these shrimp just a little bit almost done. We're going to go back and cook them again. They'll warm back up, I should say. So this will only really take about just a couple minutes or two. Because basically the shrimp don't take very long, especially when you're doing them in a wok. So the pan was just a little bit cool, so they're going to take a little bit longer to cook. Just a little bit longer. All right, we'll get that nice and hot there. This bad boy going. It's nice to have like a gas grill top because then you can really fluctuate your heat. You can get it really nice and hot. Really quick. Doing it out here on the grill, take just a little bit longer. Just takes a little bit longer for you to get your grill, for your wok to heat up, but it'll get nice and hot. And the good thing is you can always, the one good thing about using a wok is you can push up stuff up around the sides. It'll still cook, stay warm, and you can fit a lot in here. You can get them nice and hot and they won't burn. You just got to make sure you stay on top of your stuff. If you don't stay on top of it, then it will sit in the bottom and it will burn. So you just got to make sure you're moving it around. Listen to it, make sure it's not getting really bubbly. Now these are pretty much as good as I want to get them right now. So I'm going to take these out. Some of that liquid in there. Set these aside for a little bit later. Come on, there we go. All right, so we're gonna let that heat back up a little bit. And we'll start with then we're gonna add our vegetables, get those nice and hot. Then we'll throw our rice in there and some of our seasonings. And then we'll be ready to go with our egg, and then we'll be adding the rest of it. So we just want to make sure that that gets really nice and hot. There we go. It's getting there pretty good. So I'm going to add a little bit of sesame oil. Sesame oil you only need a little bit of. It's got a very good flavor to it. So it makes it taste a little, everything like the Chinese food tastes a little bit better. So I'm just going to add a few sprinkles of it. And then I've also got my olive oil to go along with it to kind of help coat everything. So again, probably another half tablespoon or so. I did dump out the rest of that liquid because it did have some water into it from the shrimp. So we did dump it out. And now we're just going to let this, make sure this gets heated up a little bit. And we're going to add our vegetables. So I've got some frozen corn and peas that I've had thawed out. It's a quick, easy fried rice recipe. I just want to make sure that I can get this nice, easy day. Get that in there. You can hear that going now. I can definitely smell the sesame oil in there. So all I'm really doing is these are already kind of thawed out. So all I'm really doing is heating them up. Getting everything kind of coated. This will help coat the rice. Let that cook up a little bit. I always kind of like to, if I'm going to be messing around doing something, I always make a little bit of a hole inside of here into the bottom and kind of push stuff up and around the sides. And then it helps kind of keep everything hot in the center. So right now I'm going to add a little bit of garlic. By a little, I mean probably a little bit decent amount. And I'm going to throw that in the middle there. And I've got some, I'm going to add a little bit of ginger paste to it. If I had raw ginger, I would be grating it up and throwing it in there. But we don't go through a whole lot of ginger here, so I usually buy these. They last a little bit longer. They're pretty good, handy. Don't have to mess around with anything. Yeah, so I'm just going to add a little squeeze to that. You can make any fried rice recipe any way you want it. But just make sure you put your flavors into it. See what you like. So I'm going to let that kind of cook up a little bit. Get that all mixed up. Get that garlic in there. That ginger cooked down a little bit. Get that nice and hot. All right. We got some good flames going here. Nice hot heat. And if you had one of those grill grates from a Weber that had the center cut out of it, you could easily throw the charcoal in the bottom of that and then put your wok down in the center of that if it's big enough. And then you got that heat all the way around it, and that would work really well too. I unfortunately don't have that grill grate, so we're doing it this way. All right. Kind of making sure we're scraping everything up and getting it nice and hot, moving it around. Don't let it sit in one spot or it will burn. All right, now we're going to go with the rice. You want to make sure you only add a little bit of rice, what you're going to use. The trick to making a good fried rice is cook your rice ahead of time and then let it sit and cool down. I would suggest like the day before or the morning and come back and do it at night. That way it gets all the starches out of the rice and it'll help absorb in all the seasoning that you're going to add to it, like your soy sauce, your ginger, garlic. So now we're going to let this cook a little bit and get this nice and brown, this rice. Just brown it up a little bit. All right. And this is the best part about this. You just stir it around, keep an eye on it. Really doesn't take too long to make. If you got some good hot heat, you can be done in about 5-10 minutes with this rice. If you got a little bit lower heat, it's going to take a little bit longer. So we're just kind of moving it around here. Just kind of letting the oil burn off a little bit, getting it soaked into that rice and letting the rice brown up. That's basically all we're trying to do here to make a good fried rice, because we're going to end up having some soy sauce to this, which is going to give it that unique flavor. All right, so I think we're about getting close there. So I'm going to push up this rice up around the sides, let it keep hot. Just kind of get it up in there. I'm clearing out the center of this because I'm going to end up adding I got some eggs here. I've got about 2 scrambled eggs for this amount of rice that I've got, and I used about 2.5 cups of rice, of cooked rice. So I'm just adding my eggs into there. I already scrambled them up. And now I'm just going to keep them scrambling in here. You don't want to throw in your eggs right away with the rice while you're mixing the rice up, because all it's going to do is separate out. You want to see that nice egg into your fried rice. So I just kind of throw it in the middle, stir it up, just kind of keep an eye on it. And that'll give you some nice egg all the way through your rice. Once that cooks up, we'll add our shrimp and we'll be set and ready to go. So all we'll have to do is reheat the shrimp back up a little bit. They should still be pretty warm. While I'm sitting here waiting, I'm going to end up, I'm going to throw a little bit of Chinese 5 spice on my shrimp, just because I like that little unique flavor that gives off. So I'm just going to sprinkle that just a little bit onto it. A little bit goes a long way with this Chinese 5 spice, so don't go over the top with it unless you've actually tried it. And you know what you're going to get yourself into with that. All right, our egg's almost ready here. One other good thing that's coming up here too on Cooking with Charlie, we will be selling some grill scrapers with our unique logo onto it, and also some cooking aprons will be coming up for sale as well. I'll show those as soon as we get them done and ready to go. So if you guys want a little piece of Cooking with Charlie, you'll be able to buy some. All right, so we're almost done here with that egg. The rice kind of got in there just a little bit, so it's taking a little bit longer. All right, we're looking pretty good. I'm going to add some shrimps back into it. And we're just going to stir all this up. That's looking pretty good. We got some nice color on the rice. It's got a nice brown color on there. All right. We got our peas and corn, our shrimp, the egg in there. We're looking pretty good here. Let's make sure we get this all heated up nice. And with shrimp, I just kind of eyeball shrimp. They should be almost translucent. They should be starting to get white, and then they'll start to shrink up and get real tight, but not overly tight. As soon as the tail starts coming around and starts squeezing in, then they're pretty much done. But you be the judge on yourself. That's the way that I like them. All right. So now we got some soy sauce. And don't go too heavy because you can never take it out, but you can always add more. So that's one good thing that I do. And then I just kind of go around the edge. I got a little heavy in that corner, so that's all I'm going to put in there. It's probably about a tablespoon or two, just enough to coat your rice. You don't want it overly done. You don't want too much. All right, now just get that mixed up into there. Let it cook in and soak in, and you will have some good rice. All right, got some good steam coming out of there. All right, now we're just going to let that sit and cook down a little bit. And we'll be ready. I'll get back to you when it's ready. Should take about another minute or two. All right, we are back. It's been cooking for just a couple more minutes. And give it a good final stir here. Now I'm going to transfer it into my bowl here. All right, so now I'll set that off to the side there, get myself a spoonful. Sorry if you can't see me here. Just trying to get a nice bowl of it. And here we go, guys. This is what it looks like when it's all done. All right. It's got some good flavor from that sesame oil, some garlic and ginger in there. The vegetables help out. Kids love it. It's a good way to get kids to eat the vegetables. Oh, that's a pretty good meal right here. Now you could add anything else you want to this. If you want to do chicken, just cook it beforehand. Throw it in the wok just before you're ready to cook up your rice and everything else. Set it aside, come back, throw it in. You can do anything you want with this. You could even add, like, sometimes if I know my kid's not going to eat it, I would probably add some sriracha or some garlic chilies and throw that in there with the soy sauce at the same time, just to give it a little more spice. But, you know, you can make it all your own. That's the one good joy of being able to cook your fried rice or any other Chinese food at home. You can make it however you want. All right, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.